Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask, Heidi. It is Monday, the 4th day of March. It is March 4th. So
Okay.
they call it March 4 something day today. Brain Injury Awareness Day. Holy Experiment Day. Courageous Follower Day. National Backcountry Ski Day. Okay. National Hug a GI Day. I like that one.
That's a good one.
National Snack Day. Sounds delicious. And World Obesity Day. Wow, those two nice hand in hand
Snacks
there.
and obesity.
All of those things happening and many others. If you want to see the entire list, I get that from listofnationaldays.com. I'm sorry, listofnationaldays.com. And a big thank you to them. I have a guest who I am so excited to talk to. I have been seeing this guy on movies and TV shows since I was just a lad, and he was just a boy at the time. Ricky Schroeder is our guest today.
Oh, I love Ricky Schroeder.
Going to talk to him today about Real American Heroes Foundation. It's a foundation he started. So we're going to be chatting with Ricky Schroeder for this Movie Star Monday.
Give yourself a little credit.
I've been telling you about BetterCreditCards.com for a few years now. I'd love for you to take a few minutes today to check out the website. Who knows? You might find a better credit card, one that offers a better rate, or a credit card that offers cash back, airline miles, or other points and perks that can help you. Check it out now.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to BetterCreditCards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. How many calories can you burn shoveling snow? Well, according to the Omni calculator, it's a pretty good workout. The free online calculator says the results vary depending on your weight. But for example, a person weighing 180 pounds shoveling snow with intense effort for 1 hour can expect to burn 600 calories.
Okay.
You'd burn about the same by ice skating for an hour. And remember, physical activity can also have positive effects on your mental health. Studies show that shoveling snow for 30 minutes can trigger the release of endorphins in the brain. Here's the thing. I grew up in an area where we had snow, not year-round, but, during the snow season. I don't think I ever finished shoveling snow and said, boy, because of all these endorphins, I'm in such a great mood now. When I was done, I was like, can I warm up? I am so sick of shoveling snow. When I was a kid, we had a bunch of rental properties, and we would shovel 30 or 40.
You guys were put through the
Yeah.
ringer with those things.
I don't ever remember afterwards going, that was great. Let's go do another one. All right. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Insurance. It's important to have insurance, but it's more important to have the right insurance. After all, if you're not covered, it's like not even having insurance. Make sure you're covered for whatever claim might come your way with InsuranceChicken.com, helping you peck out great insurance deals in your area. You need insurance on your car anyway. Why not get great rates for great insurance from InsuranceChicken.com? That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by Genesis Gold, IRA.com. Heidi, did you know that closing your phone's background apps does nothing to conserve battery life? Apple says, in fact, the phone maker recommends you only close an app if it's unresponsive. Now, again, this is coming from the people who make the phones. So, recent article from Gizmodo states that the ritual of swiping up on open apps is a waste of time. 2016, Apple's senior VP of software engineer confirmed that closing the background apps, it does not extend your battery life. In fact, most background apps are pretty much just frozen. Your system just displays a screenshot of them for consistency. As for Android phones, closing background apps actually uses more battery than just leaving them open. So, again, from the makers of the phones who are listening to us all the time, they're saying, just leave that stuff on all the time.
Just leave it open.
I feel like I should put some tinfoil on my head before I close this story. All right. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Bob Marley, One Love, remained the number one at the domestic box office for another weekend. They did very, very well with that. I've not seen it yet, but I would like to get out and check it out. I've been told that it's very, very good. Marvel is retitling the upcoming Avengers movie after the assault conviction of Jonathan Majors. So originally it was going to be named Avengers: The Kang Destiny, and that's his character.
Okay.
But they're changing the title because they're like, yeah, we're going to retitle it just because we don't want to put
Just to distance themselves.
too much. Like, the film's done. We can't really change it. We're going to just kind of like do something different. And Vin Diesel is not going to do something different. He said he is going to stay until they make him leave for the very final Fast and the Furious. He's sticking with it through, as he puts it, its grand finale. So there are people going, so have you had enough? Are you done? He's like, no, this is all I've got.
I'm going to ride this gravy train all the way.
He didn't say that. What he did say is, he said, I'm going to, it's not just an ending, it's a celebration of an incredible family that we've built together. And I'll bet they have had a lot of fun.
Oh,
making
I'm sure
they're
they
on
have.
film 497, I think, is what they're up to. So
craziness.
maybe not quite that. I think it's
It
just
seems like
just
it.
10. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com.
What could you do with an extra $129 a month? In this economy, every penny counts. So an extra $129 each month would absolutely help. Well, 97% of us have a cell phone, and the average person pays $144 a month. Mint Mobile can help you save a mint. At just $15 a month, that's an average savings of $129 each month. It's time for a Mintervention. Switch and save today. Get this special offer at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. A study found that about 12% of married men did not know their wife's birthday. Wow. I know my wife's birthday. Do you know mine?
Do
honey?
you?
I do. August 27th.
Okay, because you usually get the day wrong.
1974. So you this year will turn 50.
Yes, I will. Thank you for that.
50. I, by the way, am still way in my 40s. She robbed the cradle with me, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen.
I did.
A man won a $500,000 prize from the first lottery ticket he ever bought. Michigan lottery officials said the guy came in. He said, I was a complete novice. I'd never bought a ticket before. The 21-year-old chose to remain anonymous because, well, wouldn't you?
Yes,
but
I would.
$500,000 prize was revealed. They were in disbelief. The parents said they had to walk him
Jeez.
through how to do this, and they were all like, wait a minute, what happened? Well, I bought a lottery ticket, and then I scratched it off, and I apparently won something.
That's fantastic.
$500,000 is what he won. Very cool. And we got more lottery news. A Nebraska man was cleaning out the glove compartment of his vehicle, and he found a scratch-off lottery ticket that he bought last year. He ended up winning a new truck.
Holy cow.
Yeah. A North Platte, Nebraska man, Lucas Sworeout, bought the Trucks and Bucks scratch-off last year, put it in his glove compartment to scratch off later. I've never understood that, by the way. Have you ever understood that? Because you hear about these things. I'll do that later. Why not do it now? Then he forgot that he was going to do it. And then earlier this month, he was like, oh, hey, look what I have. Scratched off the ticket, discovered he won the top prize, a 2023 Ford F-150 XLT 4x4 crew cab flex fuel truck is what he won.
Wow.
That's quite the prize.
That's a
And
really cool prize.
That's quite the title as well. That's long and not so easy to say. So congrats to both of those people. And now everybody's going to want to get a lottery ticket. I'm still going to just not.
You
My
know, I
odds
never
don't
do.
change
And
much.
when I do, I definitely never win
Yeah,
anything.
Same here. Scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-310-5831. 800-310-5831. That's 800-310-5831.
This Movie Star Monday, we visit with Ricky Schroeder. We're going to talk about the Real American Heroes Foundation. Ricky, tell me a little more about this organization.
We're a nonprofit whose mission is to tell stories that, honor the people that made this country great, people that wear the uniforms and the people that believe in our future. And so, Hollywood, I've been a part of it a long time. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences a few years ago had a diversity, equity, and inclusion guideline that said that to be eligible for the Best Picture category for the Oscar for Best Picture, you had to have LGBTQ plus story themes and characters and crew to work on your project. And I was so insulted that they did that I really just decided I didn't want to work in that environment anymore, but I still want to tell documentaries and stories. So we started our nonprofit, and we hope to build it into a Patriot PBS, an aggregator for others to bring us their stories, and we can help change the programming that Hollywood is putting out.
I love that. There's no shortage of amazing stories, but there is a shortage of those stories being told.
Absolutely. but Hollywood doesn't choose to tell them, or they try to color them in ways that aren't authentic or real. It's insulting. Art is free. The art was never supposed to have constraints on it. A painter can paint what they want. A singer can sing as they like. An actor can act, or writer can write as they like, but not according to the Academy. Saving Private Ryan today wouldn't be eligible for the Best Picture. And I find it insulting that we ask men and women to put on the uniform and go fight for our country, and then the Academy decides that those stories aren't eligible or worthy for the highest award in the land.
I love that. That's why we've got the Real American Heroes Foundation helping to actually tell those stories. Now, you've got another project that you're doing as well. Let's talk about Erotic Erosion. This is a documentary?
It's a documentary series that looks at the decline of our standards and values and principles as a nation since the rise of internet pornography. We're talking all sorts of different interesting people, from therapists to counselors to people that are recovering from the porn industry, to see what we can do to wake people up, get some changes going in this country. Just because it's been this way doesn't mean it needs to stay this way any longer.
Absolutely. And those stories can be hard to tell. So I like how you're doing this in a documentary series. It's kind of a cautionary tale.
Yeah, absolutely. This pornography, it's been pushed into us, John, for like 40 years now on the internet. I'm old enough to remember when they brought pornography into the 7-Elevens and the grocery stores behind the cash registers, and then they took it into our houses. They took it into our phones. When adult content was originally created there, it was all in the .xxx URL. And so it was very easy for people to block it. But when they closed down the .xxx URL and they moved all the adult content into the .com world, and it became nearly impossible for parents to block it. And so one of our goals at the Council on Porn Reform is to move all adult content back into the .xxx URL. And so we hope with creating this documentary series that we can motivate people to get involved and sign up. And we definitely have some changes that need to be made in this culture, or else we're heading towards a pretty dark future.
Absolutely. Now back to the Real American Heroes Foundation. How do you define success there? What do you have as far as benchmarks?
RealAmericanHeroesFoundation.org. You can see some of the projects that we have in development. We have a true story about the Battle of Wanat that happened in Afghanistan that we are passionate about telling. We have another film called Mile Zero about a Navy SEAL that swam 2,400 miles down the Mississippi River, 1 mile for everyone killed in Afghanistan. We have his story about returning from war and the effects of war. Our goals are to get these initial projects made, produced, and released, and then collect other stories from other patriots and other people that love our nation and help them develop theirs, and then help them steer their projects and shepherd their projects till distribution, and then turn this over to the country, Patriot PBS, and start getting money out of Hollywood and put money back into a foundation like this that honors and tells the stories of real American heroes. And then it becomes like a self-perpetuating kind of mission and fund once we start getting projects released, and we hopefully start getting viewers, and that more will come. And so that's our goals.
Kind of like the if you build it, they will come model.
Yes, exactly right. The way you eat an elephant is one spoonful at a time. So I can't think too far down the road. I just look at what's right in front of me right now. I'm building this foundation, and the audience will find us. So if we make good content.
I love that. Ricky, if somebody listening has an amazing patriotic story that they think might be kind of a cool story, how do they get that to you, or how are you getting the stories now?
Yeah, we're taking submissions right now on RealAmericanHeroesFoundation.org. You can submit and contact us there. And so we want to hear from America, and we want America involved to get a handle on this perversion, at least, with erotic erosion. We want their stories.
I could talk for another 20 minutes easily, but thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me, Ricky.
Great, John. My best to Heidi.
Absolutely. We talked about a couple of different things. I'm going to throw a link to all of that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Give yourself a little credit.
I've been telling you about BetterCreditCards.com for a few years now. I'd love for you to take a few minutes today to check out the website. Who knows? You might find a better credit card, one that offers a better rate, or a credit card that offers cash back, airline miles, or other points and perks that can help you. Check it out now.
Give yourself a little credit. Go ahead and switch to BetterCreditCards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Albert Einstein is an anagram for 10 elite brains. So what that means, you can take that same number of letters and all that, and you can move those around.
Wow, somebody had too much time on their hands.
Somebody had way too much time. So way to go, Einstein. Hey, over here, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Studies show a 50% off sign increases sales even if shoppers don't know the original price or what a reasonable price would even be for that product.
I've seen people do that.
I've seen it too. And I worked in retail for a while at a grocery store. I remember making signs where it was like almost nothing difference, but we're like, oh, huge sale, and then
it's even more expensive. I've seen that before too.
Good. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
99% of people cannot lick their elbow. So
I've never tried to lick
I tried
my elbow.
only because I'm like, I wonder if I'm the 1%, and I'm not. But our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The majority of your brain is fat. Wow. Well, my brain even needs to go on a diet. Several fun facts. Now, thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Insurance. It's important to have insurance, but it's more important to have the right insurance. After all, if you're not covered, it's like not even having insurance. Make sure you're covered for whatever claim might come your way with InsuranceChicken.com, helping you peck out great insurance deals in your area. You need insurance on your car anyway. Why not get great rates for great insurance from InsuranceChicken.com? That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com. Question for you, Heidi. If you are average, you get a new one of these every 3 years. What is it?
Oh, my gosh.
We've got some in the room. We're both using them right now.
Computer.
A computer mouse. A new computer mouse. I am trying to think of, I've not had this one 3 years, but I got, I don't know.
I just got a new one recently, but that I have not activated yet.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like your mouse. I've used your mouse. I'm like, this is the weirdest. I feel so weird using your computer. I'm like, I don't like it. All right. Mint Mobile question of the day comes your way, courtesy of Mintervention.com.
What could you do with an extra $129 a month? In this economy, every penny counts. So an extra $129 each month would absolutely help. Well, 97% of us have a cell phone, and the average person pays $144 a month. Mint Mobile can help you save a mint. At just $15 a month, that's an average savings of $129 each month. It's time for a Mintervention. Switch and save today. Get this special offer at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A woman left an online shopper furious after she was spotted trying to sell her own grandmother's funeral flowers on a secondhand clothing website.
Oh.
The shopper who came across the wreath, which was posted on a site called Vinted, was shocked after seeing white, colorful flowers listed as mum/nan flowers for $145. It was in England, so it was 115 pounds. The listing was labeled new without tags. Enraged, the shopper took things into their own hands by directing messages to the woman, letting her know how offensive she was for selling the funeral flowers. It's a response that she received. She says, "My Nana's flowers. I suggest you leave your thoughts to yourself because I find you rather offensive at this difficult time." An extended back and forth happened, but it's safe to say that neither person backed down. The listing was finally reported to the shopping site, and the story made it on TikTok.
Wow.
So if you want to see the link, I've got
That's
it
pretty tacky.
in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the list, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. The best sodas, or pops, depending on where you are, in order. What do you say? Do we say soda or do we say pop? I never know anymore.
I don't know anymore
I can't
either.
remember. According to a ranking by 8 expert sources, taking into account flavor, popularity, and cultural significance, I have the list for you. The top 7. Diet Pepsi is number 7, and there's a lot of information behind here. It came out in 1964. Number 6 is Sprite. Number 5 is Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Dr. Pepper, which was introduced in the 1880s, by the way. Number 3 is Diet Coke. What do you think number 1 and number 2 are?
1 and 2 are Coke and Pepsi.
Which one do you think is number 1 and which one do you think is number 2?
I would say number 1 is Coke.
Wow. Good job, Heidi. Pepsi comes in at number 2 and number 1 is Coca-Cola. So it says, unless you are a Pepsi nut, Coca-Cola is so iconic. In some areas, they use the term Coke to describe
just for all sodas.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, that is the list. Don't blame me. I didn't write it. But it's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf.
800-310-5831. 800-310-5831. That's 800-310-5831.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Quote today comes your way from Edgar Bergen, who says, "Hard work never killed anybody, but why take a chance?" I've heard that before, but I didn't know that's who it was from. So I think I've actually heard people say that before, trying to get out of work. Quote of the day comes your way, again from Edgar Bergen, but it is courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of GenesisGoldIRA.com. This is kind of a cool story, and we've been to this airport quite a bit. Atlanta, Georgia Airport is where this happens. How a simple act of kindness connected two strangers at the Atlanta airport. So in a world often divided, the story of Cindy Tutko and a kind stranger at the Atlanta airport serves as a heartwarming reminder of the power of the human connection. Cindy, a resident of Florida, found herself facing a daunting challenge during her journey home. Torn ACL had left her mobility compromised. With the train service at the airport temporarily unavailable, she was confronted with the arduous task of reaching her gate on time. It was at this critical juncture that Michael Wright from Lafayette entered the scene. Witnessing her determination, yet limping progress, Wright's innate kindness took center stage. Without a moment's hesitation, he offered a shoulder of burden to carry her heavy bag for her, a gesture that would soon become the catalyst for an hour-long display of selfless assistance. So the thing that's really cool, she needed help. This dude, who doesn't know her, had no idea who she was, what was going on, just saw, you look like you're in pain, look like you need some help, and offered to help.
That's sweet.
And I think it's really cool. The act of kindness didn't end there. They faced the challenge of boarding the plane. With her injury, he continued to stand by her side. His genuine concern and helpful gestures ensured that she was not only able to make it to her gate, but also board the airplane early, alleviating the physical strain she might have had otherwise endured. So I've got a link to that story if you'd like to see it. And apparently it was on CBS, because it looks like they have CBS Mornings has a video. But you can see all of that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.